childhood sweetheart, Monica.
Nothing weird.
That's that weird.
You guys good?
Yeah, let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the SixpackLab. I'm your host, Johnny Catanzano. We are all the way on episode number 12 here in the lab out of Austin, Texas. We've got Raymond on the ones and twos. Thanks for being here, buddy.
What's up, man? Thank you for having me.
Always awesome. Always a pleasure. I love doing this show. Today, it's even a little bit cooler because I have a special guest that's also a very longtime friend of mine and a very good buddy of mine, but also about to be a coworker / co-coach. Garret Manning, welcome to the show.
Man, glad to be here.
Yeah.
Excited.
Happy to have you, man.
Absolutely.
So in today's episode, what we're going to do is first was talk with Garret Manning. He's got a degree in kinesiology. He's a master trainer with over 30,000 sessions trained, former collegiate All-American, 8-time physique champion, and new platinum coach for Six-Pack Abs.
Boom.
Bam.
Done
Coming
that.
in hot.
Easy money.
Easy money. So we're going to talk with Garret a little bit, find out about his background, kind of what he's been up to over the last couple years of, many years of training and helping people. We're going to talk a little bit about the latest in health news. Very interesting topic today, the Game Changers documentary.
Oh
no.
Uh-oh.
Some people's hairs on their necks are standing up. Some people are ready to pounce on us in those comments real quick.
Man.
For sure.
So we're going to talk a little bit about, and actually an article put out by Lane Norton. Big fan, Lane. Love you, brother. Put out an article disputing that.
You got it.
We're not even going to call it a documentary, that film. We're either disputing that film, essentially what's a film about plant-based dieting and everything.
Yeah,
so
you're going to have to put me on.
I know, I know you've been asked by 10, 15 people about it. As soon as it came out, a lot of people were asking me about it. So we've both seen it, and we're going to actually talk about the article a little bit, but also our views on it. Then we're going to move on to Gym Fails to Fixes. Coach Garret here is going to help us analyze some form, which is always in lighthearted fun, guys. We're only here to help everybody, so we're just going to have some fun with it, though.
It's all good fun.
We're going to do Throwback Thursday. We're going to do a special edition Throwback Thursday. We're actually going to show a couple of Garrett's transformations that a couple of his clients he's coached over the years, so you at home can see the type of stuff that he does, which is same thing we do here, but we're joining forces now. He's becoming part of the team with myself, Coach Crystal, and Coach Christian. And then we're going to always do the rapid fire round, which is, I know, one of Ray's favorites.
My favorite.
All right.
Hands down.
Nice.
Let's get right into it. Let's go into the meat and potatoes.
Let's do it.
All right. Now, Garret, over the course of your career as a trainer, you have over 30,000 sessions done, correct? So that's about how many per year?
Roughly, like we said, probably a little over 2,000 a year.
Okay. And so that's obviously probably a big part of your day. You know, on a typical day, what time you wake up, what time you go to bed, about how many people you seeing?
I've tried to slowly regress a little bit because, sleep is crucial. But, man, 4 a.m., we're up, feet hit the ground running. And I used to train till like 9:30.
Okay.
Yeah. When you get in that mode, obviously in the beginning of the year, it's fun, because it's that time. It's fitness time.
January, February, March.
Right. And then, I realized that I don't really want to get home at 9:30, go to bed, rinse, repeat. So I've regressed a little bit, kind of, as you kind of get your clients and kind of move them in.
Right.
But yeah, you kind of make your own schedule. That's a good thing about running it. You can move them where you want to move them. If you want to get over early, get over early. So
What types of clients do you see? Like what type of person?
I like all of it. Coming from a collegiate background playing sports, I love to train athletes because they respond.
Mm-hmm.
You get to really, really drill them. Mm-hmm. But the biggest reward doing it is weight loss. You get
Absolutely.
drastic changes, and I know we both can agree. Like, we've had huge transformations in the testimonials where, like, you lost a whole person.
Really?
You're like
Literally extended somebody's life.
right, and there's no greater feeling.
Right.
We get to come to work and actually change people's lives for a living.
See you actually see that visual change.
100%.
Not only the weight loss part is amazing, but also even for me, it's like when you see them, the look on their face after they get done with the set, maybe they got an extra rep with a weight they hadn't done before, or
Right.
hit that PR on a
Absolutely.
bench press or something.
We're improving people's quality of life. I saw a funny picture today with my clients, and I trained 2 clients, 180 and 167. One's beat leukemia. And the other 80-year-old's a hairstylist
awesome.
who's just going. And
It's
I'm
awesome.
like, dude,
Fuck
you're
cancer,
doing it.
man.
I was like,
Yeah,
dude, you're
that's
doing it. You're 80 years old. You're going.
Still grinding.
And you know, and my 67-year-old, you know, he's had his ups and downs. Obviously, cancer is no joke. And, you know, so awesome for him kicking cancer's butt. And then, you know, I showed him a photo of a 74-year-old bodybuilder, female.
Yeah.
And then I showed him a picture of a 74-year-old in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I was like, they're both 74.
Yeah.
I was like, you can take your battles, right?
Yeah.
You should choose which one you want to be, because at the end of the day is if you invest in your health, here's the compounding interest down the road.
Right.
I know we don't see now
Right.
because we get caught up in we don't want to see the process and the
Right.
journey.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, make the time, because
Right.
this is your dividends.
Right.
You know, you want to be 70, 80 and just being up and not relying. And, you know, so I think, you know, trying to instill that in people, and just, you know, and I have some that are 70, 80 and I tell them all the time, like, man, wow, you're doing it.
So
man.
you've trained clients of all ages.
All ages, man. I've trained military, NFL athletes. I've trained, you know, 9 to 5s, paraplegic. You know, so that was a challenge. I had to take her out of a wheelchair and strap her into machines, and you know, all of them really. You know, I don't really have a niche. I think that's the fascinating thing about the training aspect, and the really great trainers opposed to good trainers is you can dissect everyone's lifestyle. And you get to create programs based off that individual's needs.
And that's the key, is it's got to be based on the lifestyle. You can't just, good trainers don't do the cookie cutter stuff. There's no manual where you can just go in, oh yeah, they need this one. Here you go. Here's your workout plan. Or hey, yeah, here's your lifestyle nutrition plan.
Right.
Taking into account that you have 2 kids, you're working 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. You know, own businesses. You have very little time to do for that sort of thing, and you have a, you know, long, extensive, maybe medical issue background history.
100%.
Like
And
so.
that's the beauty of it, right? And that's a big part of why I'm excited to join the team, is because I see that here. I see everyone, you know, at the end of the day is, you know, we're not trying to just sell a one-size-fits-all. You know, we actually care.
Yep.
So it's awesome to be around people with the same mindset who
Correct.
actually really want to help people at
That's
the end
what
of the
we
day.
do, and we do care.
We do care.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that's the beauty of it. I think the resume shows it, you know.
Yeah.
So
you've seen all different types of people, all different ages, all types of backgrounds, from athletic to just your average Joe. What would you say are maybe some of the most common issues you see with people, or maybe some of the things they're either doing or not doing, either doing incorrectly or not doing altogether, and the reason why they're not getting results? I'm sure you've had a lot of people come to you, maybe that have already been training for so many years, or, you know, they decide, hey, I need sessions now. And then what would you say are some of the most common reasons why people aren't getting the results they want, either fat loss or build muscle?
Well, I think we both agree that the fitness industry is one of the most scrutinized businesses out there. You know, there's so much bad information out there.
So much misinformation.
You know, people grab a little bit of here or there. They don't even know what to believe anymore, right?
Right.
But yeah, I think it, you know, with technology going the way it's going, and obviously obesity at the rate it's climbing, you're going to get a lot of bad posture.
Right.
People have a lot of postural issues that have to get fixed. So
Right.
a lot of rotated, protracted shoulders, and a lot of hip flexors and adductors that cause a lot of anterior pelvic tilt, right?
Yes, correct.
Lower back pain and, oh, my shoulder's clicking.
Yeah.
So I think fixing the posture stuff in the beginning. And I was talking to a client today. I was like, what % of people do you think do ab exercise incorrectly? And they're like, I don't know. And I was like, well, unless you're in this business, I would say 99%.
Easily.
Yeah, 99% don't know when to engage their core, don't know when to blow air out of their sternum to contract their core.
Right.
And then you got the ego guys. You know, guys don't want to put the ego down and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, you see it all. But mostly I would say a lot of postural issues.
Okay.
And then obviously lazy and diet is obviously a
Yeah.
huge thing,
Lifestyle.
right? Lifestyle.
So coming in, seeing you, and then going home and not caring really what gasoline they're putting back in the tank.
Right. And then I think just if the great coaches know how to assess the program immediately.
it,
Like,
right.
oh, this is what we're doing. What time can you work out? You know, I like to dig into people's lifestyles.
Absolutely.
And I'm like,
How many
well,
times a day are you eating right now?
Exactly.
You know, do you have time to eat at work? You know, can you prepare food at home?
Right.
You have to
Obviously
take all that into
proactive, 100%, right?
Yeah.
That, you know, reactive eaters are doomed.
Yeah.
You know, And yeah, the lifestyle. Hey, what time do you wake? What time do you go to bed? What time are you going to work out?
Right.
This is how we're going to plan around that schedule. And,
Right.
and oh, you had an ACL injury or you had rotator cuff. Okay, well, we have to strengthen certain muscles before we can even go into a program. And I think a lot of people just want to hard head fight through inflammation and chronic pain, which eventually leads to an injury.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think are some of the main causes of the overweight obesity crisis here in America and across the globe? What do you think are like the one that maybe 2 or 3 main contributing factors?
I think as a society as you know, back in the day, a cool thing we talked about is we used to get up to go answer the phone.
Yep.
You know, now you just grab your cell phone and it's there. You know,
We're moving less.
Right. So definitely, I think, man, you know, it's processed refined food is the killer, man. You know, at the end of the day, people are getting educated on what to finally kind of put in their body. I think, you know, like cigarettes is going out. I feel like, you know, soda water slowly diminishing. I remember, dude, I was drinking Gatorade like no other as a kid. Right. You know, and I was like, 70 grams of sugar in there, you know.
Electrolytes.
Well, Michael Jordan drinks it, so, you know.
Well, you want to be like Mike, right?
Right. Everyone want to be like Mike.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's just lifestyle, you know, a lot of tech jobs are really kind of blossoming and blooming. And man, I think it's just, I'll be honest with you, I think social media is a big problem.
I don't think it's helping.
I think that it's just the lifestyles people see and perceive. They're like, man, I wish that was me. You know, and I think that can cause people, obviously, once I think you get to obesity, depression follows.
Yeah, it really can. And I mean, it's the mental aspect of it, I think, is a huge part of it as well. I mean, it's just, you get to a point where you're not hopeless, but it's just, it takes a lot of help.
You're right.
It takes counseling. It takes talking with professionals, and the majority of people don't have the access to that.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're right. You nailed it. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
It becomes a mindset.
Now, do you think we're, you know, maybe you and me or trainers or society, do you think we're doing, or people maybe on the other side of the spectrum are doing the right things to help it?
Absolutely. I think that there's a lot of bad trainers out there now who ruin it for the good ones. Yeah. You know,
Fly-by-nighters.
Man, jeez. Yeah. But I think the good ones, the cream always rises to the top. Always. You know, and they're the educators. Than just selling programs. You know, like, why am I doing this, Coach Garrett? What is the benefit of this? You know, why am I eating this? Why am I doing this exercise? Why is my heart rate in this zone, et cetera? You know, because a lot of them are just like, oh, trust me, go. And a lot of people put a lot of trust into their trainer.
A lot.
And I've seen a lot of injuries. And I've got a lot of clients that have had very bad trainers. And I'm like, your trainer was giving you that?
Yeah. Oh,
I want your trainer, because that's actually, he let you eat donuts on your diet and stuff like that. Like, bro, I actually want to go train with your trainer right now if I can have that diet. Yeah, I think we're doing the best we can. It's like I say, there's so much bad information in the business, but you know, we're trying. You know, we can only change one life at a time. So
yeah, and I think it is good that I think there's more people in social media, double-edged sword. You know, there's more people wanting to get involved in fitness and be a trainer and that sort of thing and help, which is awesome. But in the same sense, are you wanting to be a trainer to get more, to actually help people, or are you wanting to be a trainer to get more likes and to get a bigger following and to maybe get like somebody to send you some free supplements to be an ambassador or whatever the F they call that?
And it seems like there's a lot of those.
So there's definitely a handful of each. So you got to be careful. And like, if you're sitting at home and, you know, it just brings up, that's what we do here is, you know, as Platinum Coaches is we really take the time to learn about you. And at SixPackAbs, we have a team of people in here talking on the phone all hours of the day, talking to our clients to, you know, make sure what they're doing is right for them, for their condition, for whatever, you know, lifestyle they have. And then above and beyond that, we have us, Platinum Coaches, who talk to you every week on the phone or video. Absolutely. And basically kind of live with you in a sense and help you to whatever the goal is, whether it's you're trying to lose weight or build muscle or that sort of thing. But there are good ones out there and there are bad ones out there. So if you're looking to get a trainer or a nutritionist or somebody to help you reach your goals, make sure and do research and make sure it's the right fit for you. And, you know, we may or may not be that person. We probably are, but we may or may not be that person. But definitely explore your options and don't select somebody to coach or train your life just because they have likes or a following. Yeah. That's the biggest mistake I see is like, oh, that, and I've had a couple clients come to me and they had, well, I worked with this person before, and I was like, well, and I always ask questions like, well, why did you select him in the first place? You know, what was the process on that? And he's like, well, I saw he had, you know, 1 million followers, and I saw him posting these transformations and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's just such a small piece of the puzzle.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. How many did they get wrong before, you know, eventually you'll get one right eventually, right? So. Yeah.
Now, what do you think are some of the most beneficial exercises or workouts a beginner, somebody getting into training, can get started with?
Yeah.
Pound for pound.
I think obviously you can't run from a squat, right? I think a squat, now you look at it like when you assess that, you know, you have to assess a lot of imbalances people have. I think everyone has muscular imbalances.
Everybody does.
So I think if you can't fix your mobility first, it's going to be very uncomfortable to get into a squat. And then here comes your hip flexors and your chest drops, and then your knees are hurting. And then, you know, so I think focusing on actually controlling the exercise, put your ego down, men and women, put your ego down, and focus on actually lengthening and shortening the muscle, you know, the concentric and eccentric part of the exercise, and actually really trying to shape your body, opposed to going to the gym and working out. I'm done. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do today, but I'm just going to go wing it. Like, have a program, have a training
purpose.
program. But yeah, to answer your question, I think everyone squats. You're going to do it for the rest of your life. Right. I think some form of, I think we're losing a lot of, you know, upper body strength because of the tech job. So I think if you can learn to strengthen like mid-lower traps and anterior serratus work to keep the scapula back for posture stuff, then I think your shoulder, you know, the humerus can glide more freely, and you don't have the clicking, which most people assume down the road will have.
They get that from the mouse arm.
Hand. The mouse arm, elevated trap.
Your scapula always in extension.
Exactly. So then they're over here, well, my neck is in fault. My neck is tight. My neck is tight. I'm having, well, it's probably because you have knots and adhesions piled up in the back of your traps.
Your traps are in a perpetual state of lengthening, and it's just, eventually something's going to give, and it's going to be It's going to be your insertion point in the muscle. It's going to get pain adhesions.
And an important one that is core. I think obviously learning how to do core work is what literally save your back for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
Not to mention posture, not to mention you'll be able to function at your most optimal
Not to mention
level.
you're going to be able to build more muscle in the other parts of your body when you can correctly control your core during exercise. Core bracing during exercise, 100%. Especially for when you're doing a shoulder press or when you're doing a bench press is vital, especially if you want, when considering muscular activation, it's huge.
100%.
So I think, so starting off with some core, some squats, some hip extension.
Learning how to actually focus on the movement, you know, and actually control, even if it's a small bench press, you know, keep your scapula down and in, let's keep your shoulders out, you know, and I think get your exercises down. And then you can base your stuff on where you're obviously at in your life or your program or your athleticism or your goals or whatever. So.
So if somebody's at home and they don't have equipment, they want to get started. So maybe some body weight squats, body weight lunges.
Body weight squats, you know, wall sits are great. But learning how to do them, you see a lot of people do a wall sit and their heels are flying off the ground and you're like, how's your knees feel?
Yeah.
Like, put your heels in the ground, you know.
Use your glutes. Use your hamstrings. Come on.
So I think I think they're all, you know, the exercises are all beneficial done correctly.
Correct. All right. So I like it. Now, what do you think are some of the most common mistakes you see in the beginning lifter?
Here we go. First one comes to mind is a plank. I think everyone does a plank with their back swooped in an extension, and you're like
either swooped or hips in extension, butt up in the air.
You look like a teepee, right? And you're like, his shoulders are on fire, and not a single core is even activated.
Right.
Man, I think the lengthening of the muscle, I think, is a very important part. I think if people could hear me out on this one, is if you can slow down the lengthening of the muscle, and we'll go, for example, a squat, a barbell curl, a bench press, overhead military press. Control the lengthening of the muscle. Therefore, you will keep the stress out of the joint, and you can therefore keep tension consistently on the muscle.
Constant tension that will also lead to better hypertrophy, which is going to lead to more maximal muscle growth.
Now, fat loss.
Yeah, when he says the lengthening, what he means is, for you guys,
I was going to ask,
is the negative. It's called the eccentric portion, which is stretching the muscle. So if you're in a negative and you're on a shoulder press, that's as you bring the bar down towards your chest. If you're in a squat, it's as you squat down. So when you see people getting on the squat rack and they're bouncing down,
man, it's hard.
It's just kind of honestly, it's a waste.
And not to mention, God bless your knees and your hips.
Eventually.
Yeah, so that's where the magic happens on the way down.
That's where is the magic. So on a bicep curl, as you lower the bar back down.
Yes.
Now, the concentric portion, the contraction. So think concentric contraction, shortening. It's important too. But research shows that when you control the tempo on that eccentric with the lengthening, the results are far, far, far better. But then it also helps you control your form and your posture, just like Garrett's saying.
And eliminates risk of injury drastically.
So when he was talking about ego earlier, guys mostly, I see girls doing it too, though, bouncing around, doing lateral raises.
When you're doing curls and just letting it fall.
Yeah.
That's where the problem is.
Yeah.
Drop the weight and slow it down, and literally count in your head anywhere from 1,000, 2 1,000, like literally that slow.
Right.
Yeah. Control it.
Yeah, 100%.
Your gains will be far greater.
And you won't be in as much pain.
Okay.
So
that
won't have as much inflammation going on.
Any other super common mistakes?
Yeah. I mean, the typical, okay, here's one we talked about. That's just funny, is the treadmill. Man, guys.
Oh, yeah.
This one's been getting me lately.
Treadmill and the step mill.
Quit holding on to the handles for your dear life. Like, it's not a windstorm. There's not gale force winds inside the gym. I have no idea. I get it, but at the end of the day, is you are literally taking over half the exercise out. You might as well just you literally just went to the gym for an hour for almost, I feel like, nothing.
I see a lot of people on like really extreme inclines, like 15%, holding on for dear life. I'm like,
for dear life.
So you inclined it, then you're holding on to the handles, so you're no longer inclined. I see you're smart. I see what you're doing there. Okay,
Right,
I could do that for 45 minutes too.
Oh my God.
So and this is all lighthearted fun, guys. We're just joking, but
well, hopefully it helps a few too.
Yeah,
though. Absolutely,
it makes you awareness. That's we jab fun at it, but it's awareness. Maybe you don't know, but
right.
Those handles are only literally there for like balance or as you get started, or maybe to check your heart rate. You shouldn't be holding on to those while you're doing whatever cardiovascular exercise it is you're doing. Like on the step mill, I see a lot of people leaning forward.
Oh man.
Up on the handles.
Tricep exercise 101.
Yeah, I'm like, is that how you go up the steps in your house? Come on, man.
Jeez, that's a good point.
Come on now. Yeah. All right, now let's talk about some of the people you've coached and trained over the years. What are maybe some of you mentioned a few people, some of the incredible changes you've seen and observed in your clients? I know you've had some clients for a long time where they've been with you for years. What are maybe some incredible results you've seen?
I think you talked about it earlier when it comes to mindset. I think the hardest part of changing a newbie in the gym is really changing their mindset on how they kind of approach life, and kind of the consistency with the persistent action will lead to long-term success. But, I think that the great thing about it is the relationships I've made, but I've trained them all, man. I trained some CEOs, some entrepreneurs in Austin, some very highly successful people. And I will say that the successful ones all have one thing in common, and it's work ethic. They work in the gym. Yeah. They show up and they work, and at the end of the day, you should be your hardest critic, but that's guys, these are some CEOs, entrepreneurs, they have coaches too. So I think, people just don't want to hire a coach, because they think they can do it on themselves, but it's okay to have someone to help your form. Like, hey, you don't realize the little things you do wrong,
absolutely,
until you have that blind side look at it and be like,
especially if somebody knows what they're doing, like
exactly. So I think the greatest, the joy of the transformation prospect, or the weight loss, or the weight gain, or maybe it's a marathon, or whatever you're trying to do with your life at that time, is changing their mindset.
Yeah,
and then. I get a great joy too when they go to the gym and then they see a lot of bad form. They're like, dude, so many people do bad form. I was like, I know, that's why we're a hat.
Welcome to the club.
Like
now you see. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, a lot of people don't know, and you get blinders on. It's a lot of, we've talked about this before, it's a lot of the monkey see, monkey do.
Right.
And, that can only go so far. It's like, so let's say Ray, you're like, join the gym, man. I'm going to join Golds.
I got a story for you. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to hear this next. So you walk over and you walk in, and it's like, okay, you've never been to a gym before, and there's shit everywhere. I mean, there's equipment, there's dumbbells, there's
all
machines,
kinds of things.
there's people jumping around, there's people kickboxing, all kinds of shit. And let's just say you're just like, okay, I got this, man, and you just walk out there, and you literally have never been to a gym before, and you just start, okay, I see what that guy's doing.
Yep.
Meanwhile, that guy's never been to a fucking gym before.
Right.
That's his first day too, but you don't know that. You think that guy's been there a while. So you start doing what he's doing, which is the complete incorrect thing. Ipso facto, everybody's doing the wrong thing in the gym. So it's just ask for help. You know, I have a coach, you know, in my bodybuilding. I can coach myself, absolutely. Yeah. But I like having an expert and an outside eye to reel me in.
Even another pair of eyes in general is always good.
Always good.
100%.
Let's hear the story, Ray.
No, yeah. So real quick, I was like, oh, I must join the gym, do that whole thing. And I've always been pretty athletic. I've played sports my whole life and everything. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going back to the gym. So I went to the gym, and I went with one of my friends back home. And I did squats. No, actually, I did deadlifts.
Okay.
It was like
first day.
that's a tough one, man.
Okay,
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I did deadlifts, and I'm feeling pretty strong. So I was like, man, I'll put more weight on this. This is nothing. This is nothing. I don't remember the exact amount of weight, but I was like, this is nothing. So I'm pulling it. I'm like, man, this is nothing. So I promise you, after that I was in the bed for like 4 days. I could not move. Like I was in my lower back.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea what happened exactly. I was like starting to get scared after like the third day. I'm like, do I need to go to the hospital? Like this is like I literally
deep muscle pull.
So deep.
You never told me this story.
It was so deep. Like I could not even. Like I had to ask my mom for help to go to the shower.
Yeah.
Like it was that bad.
I know exactly.
It was that bad.
Serious?
Yeah. And you know what's funny about that is I won't correct but only two things in the gym: a squat and a deadlift.
Yeah.
Like obviously I can't I'm there to get my workout in.
Yeah.
But if you can help someone from herniating their disc in their back or blowing they obviously they see a fit guy and they're kind of, oh, okay, thank you. You know, most are grateful.
Yeah.
But like you said, like so many people arc their back so bad that it causes and it could be worse. It could be a herniated disc.
Yeah.
And that scares. That's a huge red flag.
Well, Well, I don't have any back problems. I never ever did. Yeah. So the minute I had back pain, I was like, super freaking out. Yeah, I was like, oh my god.
And
like,
it could cause you to shy away, and
that's
sometimes obviously avoid a super beneficial.
I
exercise.
don't even want to do deadlifts. So it was that bad. I was that scared.
It's okay, we're gonna help you, baby.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna get you back on the deadlift wagon
the right way. Get me back in.
With proper progressions.
Absolutely, and great form.
Yes, absolutely.
You guys are gonna have to help me out.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your background. So you live here in Texas now. You're here in Austin. You've been here how many years?
12 years now.
Okay, all right. And you grew up in South Texas, right?
Yep. I was born in Victoria, Texas.
Okay.
And then moved and went to high school in Hallettsville, Texas.
H-Town.
2,700 people. You blink, you miss it.
I've been there. It is definitely missable when you drive by. But love y'all, Hallettsville. It's definitely, I know. It's beautiful. Beautiful. I always want to see that place, part of Texas. So you grew up there. Now, obviously, athletic background. You played collegiate athletics, correct?
Yep. Played college football.
Okay. Where'd we play?
I played at Blinn and then transferred to Henderson State in Arkansas and finished up there. And was fortunate enough to be an All-American wide receiver and
very nice.
Tried a little bit of Green Bay, St. Louis, and wasn't in the calling, but the health and fitness department was.
Had a couple tryouts.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know what Blinn is a junior college here in Texas, and you probably know who Cam Newton is, but that's where they actually have a great football program.
I was there with him too. Yeah,
he was there.
Oh, you were there? Okay.
Yeah, Cam came in when I was kind of departing. So
was it football that kind of got you into training, or how'd that work out?
I've always been pretty motivated as a kid. In Hallettsville, you kind of find your own trouble. So I remember when we moved in, my great grandma, we had the old dial-up phone, and we called
the old rotary.
Oh man! And we'd be like, hey, hey, Mrs. Johnson, is Jordan there? And then we'd all go meet at the field and play some tackle football or golf.
Which kids really don't do anymore.
Right, and that was the pros about a small town is it was actually okay for your kid to ride his bike all over town and do that. So I just found immediately when 7th grade basketball was a thing I obviously played, and baseball was a younger sport. But as soon as I got into 7th grade, it just became a repeating cycle of football, basketball, baseball, track.
Yeah.
And I just did that every year. And, and obviously team sports, I think just great skills in life. So
discipline, responsibility,
time management
like crazy,
work ethic. So the empathy, rapport, the camaraderie developed in the sports is second to none. So and then fell in love with just the competitive nature in me, so I think it's my mama checker. She's going down. So I think that's just me being a competitor, but and then just competing, I love to win. Yeah. So winners win.
So is that why you got into, you're also a competitive bodybuilder? Is that
That's a great. So being in the health and fitness business, I had a buddy who did a show, and he got third, and I was like, I feel like I look better than that right now. No offense, I won't disclose any names.
That's kind of how,
right. So I'm like, okay, so let me do a little dieting and let me try this, and was fortunate enough to win it. It was, but what I learned about my body, what I learned about nutrition, and then I was like, okay, obviously the winning, was I tell everyone like, well, did you actually enjoy doing it? And I'm like, to be honest with you, I don't really enjoy the whole getting the bodybuilding, getting on stage and that, but I enjoyed the process.
The preparation.
I love the fact of getting up and outworking my opponent and just the grind.
Yep.
I love
knowing
the grind.
in the back of your mind that person's not up right now.
Absolutely. Like I'm gonna do above and beyond and whatever.
But also in your competition with the latest version of yourself. I'm going to do better than I did last time.
And you're always competing in the man in the mirror. I love it. I think that's great. Too many people try to compare themselves to everybody else.
Yeah,
so
compare yourself to yourself.
Yeah, and I think it just being in the training, doing the shows, and being fortunate enough to win 8 shows, I think that just my nutrition, just understanding, when I talk to people about the macros and stuff is like, I've been doing it for like 12 years, just constantly meal prep, and the great thing about it is I've made the meal prep so much faster. Like people think meal prep is like a 3-hour day. I'm like, no, dude, I can make 30 meals in 10 minutes.
It's not that. It's just a matter of cutting it up, dicing it up, seasoning it, and getting it in either the oven or in the crock pot.
Exactly. And
there's
so
ways around it. There's
absolutely.
Ways to make
and then
it faster.
You find stuff that tastes good. You find ways to season it. But yeah, at the end of the day is once you can kind of get that process down, it's not even hard. I wish people would get that kind of brainwashed, sauna out of their head where they think, oh, meal prep, man. No, like I would work 15, 16-hour days, come home, and I could meal prep for the next day and that dinner in 10, 15 minutes, done.
Yeah, when you like you said, being a proactive eater, that's part of that. And I mean, for some of you guys, it's not, you don't have to necessarily go home and do like to the extremes of necessarily like we did, getting preparation for a bodybuilding show, but you take a bag to lunch with a couple healthy, like an apple and some nuts or something you have at the house. You save money, stay on track, that sort of thing. I mean,
even one meal a day would make it.
You go to work empty-handed, you're going to end up at a fast food place. Or, hey, what are you doing for lunch? Oh, yeah, I'm just going to get Chipotle.
Right.
It's not good for you.
No, 1,000-calorie burrito.
Yeah, for real.
It tastes good with the guac, right?
And you're pro level in it's the league.
So it's like IMBF, NFF, and the GBO.
Okay, and those you've been in tested shows,
all natural drug tested
natural,
shows,
which I can attest to. He has to go take. We actually did one tested show together, which we both got first place.
Yes,
the Shredder.
Yep.
Wait, Cole first place?
Well, we were in different height classes, clearly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Clearly.
We didn't win the overall.
Yeah, we actually both.
It was probably better that way because we're such a competitors.
Yeah, I know.
And
we both got beat by this 18, 19-year-old kid, which I know if he's watching. I mean, Mike's a nice kid, but.
Yeah. Well, knowing now, you know what we know. We were such young, and that was 7 years ago. I mean, just the muscular maturity and the building from that day is just, But. Yeah, man, it was one of the biggest. I mean, we didn't get out there till like midnight or 1 in the morning.
This is a Texas Shredder, so we're Texas Shredders, bro.
Yeah, got the sword.
We got the samurai sword. Shout out to Dave Gooden for putting on a great show.
Is that the sword behind you right there?
No, that's this samurai sword. This is the Ronnie Coleman Classic overall championship sword. That's what that one's for. So
Light work.
We're gonna get some of his memorabilia thrown up in here now, just part of the team as well. Now we got you coming on board as a platinum coach and a trainer. People can work directly with you, right?
Correct. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Learning the ropes here, just kind of, getting newbie. But yeah, man, work with me. The great thing about it is, what you're going to get from me is just someone super passionate about it. I actually walk this lifestyle. I live this lifestyle. Like you said, 30,000 sessions of service, man. I've seen it. I've seen it all, really. I like we talked about the Brett Favre scenario. Everyone's different. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day I've seen so much of things that's the beauty. And I think that's what people really need to separate themselves when they do this is interview your trainer. Like, it's okay to ask your trainer, like, why am I doing this? Don't just say, okay, I trust you and just take the reins. Like, guys, you need to educate yourself because at the end of the day, your trainer won't probably be there forever.
Correct.
Because you will get fit. I promise you that.
Yeah.
And then eventually you're going to want to go on your own.
And that's what we do with Platinum, and that's why we talk over video chat or on the phone every week in these conversations, sometimes with 30 minutes, is because we encourage it. We want you asking questions. well, Johnny, why am I doing brown rice and chicken breast after workout? Why can't I just do it, just have a shake and then go to bed? Or, why am I doing this exercise and this, that, and the other? So we encourage that and we want that. And that's why our time together with a guy as knowledgeable as this, your time together with a guy like that is super valuable. And
it's your life.
It's just, it really is your life.
Can you put a price on your quality of life?
What kind of gasoline do you want to put in your car?
Exactly.
Let's say, what do you consider yourself? Do you consider yourself like a nice sports car, like a BMW or Mercedes, maybe a Ferrari? Most people aren't going to say, yeah, man, I'm a Ford Pinto or whatever. So if you're one of those nice cars, what kind of fuel are you going to put in the car? You going to go put the 87, the cheap ass shit in there? Or are you going to
need the premium, baby?
You're going to get the premium. Because if you don't put the premium in, you don't get all the horsepower, you don't get all the gas miles. And I like to use that analogy a lot. But now that we've talked a little bit about that, people can work with you. Let's talk real quick. Let's throw it over to Throwback Thursday now. We'll have Garrett talk about a couple of his clients that he's helped out, since we're kind of talking about that right now. And we've got 3 examples here, and very nice work here. Right. Actually, I think I've met 1 or 2 of these people, but let's start off here. Let's talk a little bit about your client here and what we're able to do, and maybe the time frame and
So,
what you guys did.
I've kind of got real big into doing the progress
Jump
photos.
on the mic for me?
Yeah, hit it up.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Got real big about kind of doing the progress photos. I think, at the end of the day is people need to see, because they see themselves every day. This is Colton.
Look at this. Look at this smile.
Right. Hey, and I promise that wasn't staged. That's just his life just got better. Yeah. Colton actually, this is 5 months. 5 months. And Colton actually got featured in Men's Health magazine for this transformation.
I was going to mention, he had a client in Men's Health. This was him.
This is him. This is the 5-month transformation. Now, Colton is the I'll do anything client.
Yep.
And tell me what I got to do.
Yep. And he does it.
And he showed up and worked every day.
Yeah.
Every day. He uses cheat meals the right way.
Yep.
And, at the end of the day this is what happens when you really want to put the work in. And then obviously the results came and the compliments, and then obviously getting featured on Men's Health was wow. Like, that's super cool. Proud of this guy.
That's very cool.
But yeah.
How old is Colton?
Colton is, I want to say 30 or 31.
Okay. Do you know roughly what he started at and where he ended up at? So
we were roughly, I think, around 225.
How tall is he?
About 6 foot, 6'1".
Okay, so 6 foot, 225.
About 23, 24, give or take, % body fat.
Okay.
And we got him down to, when you see his back or whatever, if they have that.
Oh, I got that in there too.
Boom. So, there's.
He's got a little Christmas tree back there.
Right. So,
spinal erector's popping out, a little lag definition.
So, I throw a little hammies in there. We're getting those a little better. I can't leave the legs out.
Yeah, you can't leave the building blocks. You train legs too with us.
Yes. You're going to work the most important part. Yeah. And obviously his posture and things like that have improved. But I mean.
Yeah, look at his rolled shoulders in the far left, and all the way to the right, his scapula is nice and retracted, pulled back.
Right.
Sitting upright, nice and posture.
So,
correct.
So this is 5 months of hard work. Now, I know not everyone, obviously, guys, this is the home run hitter.
Right, yeah, you can't compare yourself.
At the end of the day, I think the joy of it is, man, it's the compliments. I'm like, hey, man, if you get a compliment, let me know, I'm happy you're getting these compliments. So I'm I think with the progress he's gotten in such a short amount of time, he's kind of ruined it for all my newbies that come in. He's like, I want to look like that guy.
Yeah, I want that transformation.
Are you willing to do the work he did?
Yep.
But this is just a short one. Obviously, it's a lifestyle. It's a marathon.
Therein lies the key. Is like we lay out the blueprint for you, but that's the only thing we can't do is can't do the work for you. You still have to be committed. You still have to want to commit to changing your lifestyle, and
100%.
Clearly that's what Colton has done. It's not necessarily something like he did like a 30-day challenge and followed a cookie cutter meal plan for a little bit. He probably really kind of flip flopped his life for the better, and I'm sure he's doing it the same way still.
And the value that what comes with us is that the program gets changed.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, set it, forget it, see you later.
Set it, forget,
people do plateau.
Yeah.
There's metabolism is real. You have the shock hormones, they regulate. So it's manipulating certain things.
Metabolic adaptation.
Absolutely. And so, once he starts adding muscle and dropping fat, things need to change as well. And keeping his cardiovascular game, on top of the game, but also not getting away. I know we're caught up in the aesthetic look now these days.
Right.
So functional at the end of the day is what it's about. You want to move.
Functional longevity is the should be the name of the
obviously game. The physical attribute is great, but he feels and moves great too. So it wasn't just about looking great.
It's feeling good, and it's leading the lifestyle consistently.
Right.
Ray, why don't you scroll down to that next one?
For sure.
Now this one's incredible. This one you might think is like, oh, maybe this is more of like a average, like Colton obviously had a pretty decent physique getting started out, but this guy here was
this guy had a bunch of trainers. This is the guy I told you about the donuts. His trainer was giving him the donuts. And this guy reached out to me because I know, right? We're so numb to it now. We've heard it so much, and people are like, dang. But at the end of the day, he had a trainer, was letting him eat, I think, 3,000 calories a day. Teacher sits behind, he's somewhat active, but at the end of the day, it's 3,000 calories.
What, 5'6", 5'7",
give or take.
Yeah. 3,000 calories is way high.
Right.
For a sedentary, teacher lifestyle.
He reached out to me at another short term. I have obviously some long term, but this guy reached out to me for the transformation challenge for the Naturally Fit Federation. Okay. And so we did this in 6 months. I think we lost 50 or 60 pounds. Honestly, I don't recommend losing weight that fast. I don't think that's healthy by any means. Right. His diet was very dialed in, and he also was investing 100% into the program. Mm-hmm. And this is the result. But it was, we're going to eat clean food. We're not crash dieting. We're not going to think we're going to 1 meal a day crap like that. No, we're going to have a structured program. We're going to make sure your energy levels are good as well. Yeah. Like, I want you to feel good.
You're going to eat carbs.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy carbs. Yeah. Don't run from them, guys.
Yeah, don't be afraid of them.
And he got second. I was a little disappointed he got second because he did this in 6 months.
Who got first?
The guy who got first lost 100 pounds, but he did it in 3 years. And that's great.
That is good.
Honestly, 100 pounds, kudos, right?
That's kind of the
so he did it in 3. I wish they would have took the duration into consideration. Yeah. But yeah, awesome feat, and he seems to obviously be glowing with confidence. So
killing it now.
Awesome.
Who's this third guy? This young gentleman here.
This is the true epitome of a desk job. My man right here, GW. So GW's used to work for the Statesman, kind of been in the for like 30 years. Has had a desk job. Yep. And I've got GW's been with me for almost 8 years now. He's probably, I think he's 260, maybe 270 in that. And the left. And he now is, he's down to about, it fluctuates between 175 to 188.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So
awesome job, man.
55 years old, guys.
Great job, GW.
Great job, GW. And
that's great.
So shows up, he works, and and he also lives life, and
almost like literally. And I mean this in a good. He looks like a different person.
He really does.
Like in his face and his. I mean, wow.
And he's in the best shape of his life right now. Job, 55.
Yeah, you're like better looking when you're in better shape. Not only his body, it's like his face got better looking.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a Harrison Ford, like an actor type now on the right side. Jeez. Yeah. All right, G-Dub, I see you representing.
So that's actually been a journey. I've had G-Dub for 8 years, and that one's been. Slow and steady, and and now it's just he's training him still 3 or 4 times a week. Okay. And and he's like we found a way for him to do snap kitchen and stuff. Just obviously it's better than, like you say, being a reactive eater and I'm gonna go to P. Terry's.
We'll get him on those icon meals now.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Shout out Todd. Got your back, brother.
Nice.
All right. Let's move on to the rapid fire round. We'll wrap things up with Garrett. Then we're gonna move on to the latest in health news, and then we're gonna do our Jim fails to fixes. Garrett, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Rapid fire, baby. All right. Where were you born?
Victoria, Texas.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Man, athletics.
Gym class. Favorite exercise?
Can't run from a squat.
Favorite body part to train?
Oh man, that's tough. Let's go with shoulders.
Doubts, brah. Least favorite body part to train?
I love them all, man. I actually enjoy all of them.
Because this isn't a job interview, bro.
Yeah. I know, right? I wish I could tell you.
These guys are just a legit trainer, man.
I think that I love legs, and I think that's the building block. So most people don't love to learn legs, guys.
Absolutely. Take your weakness and make it a strength. Yeah. What is your favorite supplement?
Man, I'm a caffeine junkie, so pre-workout, but BCAAs.
Okay, pre-workout and BCAAs. I like it. Favorite item in your gym bag?
My wrist wraps. My joints. Keep my wrists.
There you go.
My ligaments playing college ball. Won't leave without them.
Couple past injuries. Got to keep them safe.
Yeah.
Favorite thing about fitness overall?
Man, I feel great. I move great. I see negligence and I see complaints all day. So that's my reward is like never going that route.
Awesome. Favorite place you've traveled?
Thailand was pretty cool. Me and the lady went to Thailand, and we had some fun. It was good times. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds fun. I've never been there. I've been wanting to go there. Least favorite place you've traveled?
I don't know. That's least favorite place. Probably. I don't know. Probably going back home. Hallettsville.
I was wondering. I wasn't trying to lead you down that path, but
pretty quick in Hallettsville, man. So love Hallettsville, but not much to do.
A lot of gyms.
Yeah, I think we have the health and wellness center at the hospital, and that's it. Really.
Favorite food?
Oh, man, growing up, it used to be lasagna. But I'm a burger man, dude.
Yes.
Give me a hamburger, good one,
all day.
And
What's your favorite burger?
So we're actually on a challenge right now, trying to find the best burger in Austin. Ooh. So we're on the mission. I'm going to Carpenter's Hall this Friday.
Heard about it.
5 out of 5 stars on
the
Bad Bitches Burgers Club.
Okay.
So we're gonna the Instagram page put it up.
What's your favorite one in Austin currently? Who holds the top spot right now?
Probably Cafe Nose.
Cafe Nose
on South Congress Hotel.
Okay,
is really good.
I think Eberly's got my best burger.
Eberly's a good burger.
It's a pretty fire burger.
I actually have had that. Great.
And the ambiance in there makes it even better.
Yeah, that's a great burger.
Just classy.
Good choice.
All right, favorite car?
Oof, man. I'm an old school guy. You remember I had the old Stingray back in the day, so I'm going to go with the Corvette Stingray.
Okay.
Give me like a 70s model, maybe a late 60s, 70s.
Okay, those are sexy cars. What is your favorite place to eat in Austin?
Oh, that's no brainer. Three Forks Steakhouse.
Okay, and then Texas, period.
Texas, yeah. As of now, I guess Austin's got so much great food. Yeah. It's probably just Three Forks. I love it. Yeah, good steak, man. Yeah, great steak.
I haven't been there.
Get some good protein, great amino acid build up.
It's just such good quality.
It's white cloth steakhouse service. They got an extensive menu,
day, dry aged,
a la carte menu with what is it? The bacon lobster mac and cheese,
mac and cheese, the Brussels sprouts.
Oh, the beef breezies.
Yeah,
they're off the chain.
The dessert's even great. I mean, it just does never disappoint.
Just slap your grandmama good there.
Slap your grandmother.
And that's all we got for the rapid fire round today. Thank you, G Manning, for playing, and thank you, Kawhi, for your laugh. All right, now let's move on to the latest in health news. Great topic here. Interested to talk about it. Ready to go. No punches are being pulled. We're going to talk about, now this article, Ray Ray's going to pull it up, and as always, he's going to throw it into the description here of the video. So I want every one of you to go read this.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, tell me what the Game Changers thing was.
Okay,
yeah.
so we're going to talk about that first. So the Game Changers is, I'm sure a lot of you at home, if you're on YouTube, you probably have Netflix too. Right. You've probably been on there, and about a month or so ago, they added a new film in there, and it's got some big money backing on it. It's who's the guy?
James Cameron.
Cameron. So
produced it.
So James Cameron produced it, and Arnold is in it, and Jackie Chan's in it, and all these and there's a MMA fighter, James Wilkes. He's in it, and all these people. So they really went out and pulled all the punches and dumped all the money into it. But essentially, Ray, it's a documentary on a plant-based diet. Now, that's what it's portrayed
promoting
as.
that lifestyle, or
or
steering you in that direction.
That's the thing, and you know, we're going to talk a little bit more about this, but the thing, it's really not a documentary. It's really a one-sided. It's a film about a plant-based diet and how it is superior to any animal-based diet, and the subjects and ideas that they use throughout the film are essentially kind of cherry picking athletes at the peak of their sport who are either vegan or have converted to vegan at some point in their career. Not necessarily when they're at the peak of their career, but at some point in their career.
So it isn't objective, is what you're saying.
It should let you draw your own opinion out of it. It should not say this is.
That's what documentaries are supposed to do, and that's not what this does.
And not at all.
Yeah, actually. So that's what they really try to hit you with, a lot of ammunition that's just, it's biased. And what this article is this article is by Lane Norton, who's, Garrett knows who Lane, we don't know personally, but he's very well respected in the fitness community, especially on the nutrition side of things. He has a PhD in nutritional sciences, and his thesis was on actually protein metabolism, protein synthesis. So
so keep the science coming, Lane. We
love it, man. So this is in his wheelhouse. So he literally spent a couple years of his life researching protein synthesis. And so what the film is essentially saying, Ray, is that these athletes and these individuals did what they did because they're vegan not vegan, because they have a plant-based diet, and that it's superior, is essentially what they're kind of insinuating in each and everything.
Them like peak, I guess.
Yes.
Because they're plant-based.
Yes. So essentially let me give you an example. So they talk about, they talk specifically about Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor in the Diaz fight. So if you guys remember that, they fought a few times.
Yeah.
And Diaz won the first bout.
Right.
He did.
Submission.
And they basically said, quote, and this is pretty close to quote unquote, that that Nate Diaz won because Conor McGregor ate steak every day, and Nate Diaz.
Yeah, like twice a day.
Yeah, like twice a day, and Nate Diaz didn't, eat, and he's a plant-based. He's plant-based diet. So they're basically, what they said is basically saying Conor McGregor lost.
What about the second fight?
They didn't talk about the second fight.
Well, they also didn't say the other factors, right? That Nate Diaz took the fight.
And Conor McGregor is a stand-up fighter. Nate Diaz is one of the best BJJ fighters in the world. As soon as he got him on the ground, it was game over.
Not to mention probably 30 pounds heavier.
He fought up McGregor jumped up 2 classes. So they're cherry picking data and only giving you like they're extrapolating what they want to support their agenda. Right. So it's not a documentary is kind of what I'm getting at here. Yeah. And to be honest, the majority of things on Netflix aren't documentaries. True. It really is. And so now there are some good ones out there, but you have to be careful because a lot of them are going to be biased and one-sided. And this isn't the only reason, but a lot of them are funded by whoever,
some sort of agenda behind it.
Yeah, whoever's the supporting cast. So, for example, James Cameron has I think it's a pea protein company.
Yeah, and so did every doctor. And in that, and they sort all the right. It's some form related to veganism or something.
So in this article, in Lane's article, he essentially takes the time to literally, with cited research, basically not just giving opinion, but giving actual scientific data, saying, showing what's right and what's wrong. And, unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that they put in that film is just completely wrong and just very misleading. A lot of fear mongering, straw man arguments, kind of shifting attention away. Another example they talk about are the gladiators, the gladiator diet. Well, gladiators used to eat plants. It's like, well, if you actually look into that, and Lane talks about this in the article, so I heard you read the article. I'm not an expert on gladiators, but they talk about, there's also, with the gladiators, it depends on what region they were in.
Absolutely. Demographic is
and actually
huge.
Gladiators, a lot of people think the movie 300. From what I understand, gladiators were actually fatter and thicker because, if you're walking around, this is literally kind of, you wouldn't read in the article, and this is going by what he read, an excerpt from an expert, that they were fatter and chubbier because they don't want, knife cuts and that sort of thing in battle. They want the body fat and that sort of thing.
And at the end of the day, too, another thing is the protein aspect it was expensive for them. It's just easier to give you more grains and plants, as and
a lot of them were poor, very impoverished things, so they would just feed them with vegetables and that sort of thing. They're not going to give them steak every night.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
But then they talked about the actual research. So like, well, they cut into their bones and blah blah blah. But again, I revert back to depends on what region they were in.
Right.
They have done research and cut in the bones of other gladiators in other regions where they've shown
a very small area too.
Very small area.
Like one person.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So, and for example, another argument is, well, cows eat grass and gorillas eat grass. Yeah. Okay. So, and this is again in the article, Lane's going to, Lane kind of busts this out for you. And well, cows have multiple stomachs and they're designed to break down grass and extrapolate all the amino acids and see how you do. See how your stomach does on that. And then gorillas, they eat. Well, sure, they eat quite a few plants, but they also eat
a lot of things we wouldn't eat.
Like 10 times the amount of vegetables we can eat. So they can get 350, 400, 450 grams of protein from the sheer amount, where I think from the I don't remember off the top, it's like 18 kilograms a day, which is like 40 pounds of fruits and vegetables per day, which a human is just not going to do. Okay. So, but in any event, it's kind of, he literally goes point by point and talks about each and every one of the things that they discuss in the film. Yeah. But I wanted to get your opinion on the film and what you thought about it overall and what you thought about plant-based.
Not against it, for the record. If that's what you want to do, more power to you. I do agree with you. I don't think that you need to push saying that's more superior, because you're leaving out a lot of factors, like you said. Is farm-raised tilapia the same as wild sockeye salmon? No,
not even close.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let's take the hormones and all the crap out of the food, and let's eat open grazed, grass-fed stuff,
right.
and it's moderation too, right? I mean, 2 steaks a day is not even realistic,
Right.
I mean, obviously he's an MMA fighter, but
Right.
I think they're taking the quality of food out.
Yes.
And so does organic produce. At the end of the day, is you can look at the chemical Roundup, Monsanto's and glyphosate, and so are you eating plants that are sprayed with pesticides and chemicals?
Right.
Because that's probably just as bad.
Right.
If you think about it,
Right.
so you're putting that chemical that obviously the plant has built up immunity because they keep spraying it more and more and more. And let's not talk about the
Which
lawsuits.
they do use pesticides on organic vegetables and fruits, just so y'all know.
You got to keep those bugs away, though.
Yeah, they
right.
do.
And I mean,
literally eat all the
so
food.
much food is genetically modified.
Yeah.
But I think if come on, everyone's like, oh, I bought a cheap in bulk, right? Cheap in bulk. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why you've seen some of those McDonald's foods like 10 years later, like still looking the same, right? That crap that's in them. So when it comes to the diet, I do believe in reducing inflammation. I do believe in lowering cholesterol with certain plant-based diets, but
you can also, the main driver of reduction in inflammation is body composition and reduction of body
100%,
fat, lifestyle,
intervention.
exercising, that sort of thing, not necessarily because you're going to start eating plants.
No, I agree. But in a cool study is 87% of people don't get their RDA in vegetables a day, 2.5 cups.
That's crazy.
And I think it's like 24 servings a month. 99% don't get that. Yeah. So it's like, and fruits too as well. So it's like, we're not even getting anywhere near enough of that. So at the end of the day is just a balanced, well diet. The plant-based diet, like I say, if that's what you want to do, great, more power to you. It is a little carb heavier diet, but you still can eat a good balanced diet with lean animal protein.
Absolutely.
So it's, draw your own conclusion out of it. Just do your research on it before
do your research. If you really want to try it,
naive and gullible on a documentary, and then obviously backed by everyone who owns some form of plant-based company or product. So yeah,
good breakdown. I appreciate that. And I'm kind of on the same boat as you. Is like, if you want to try it, do your research and try it. But to sit there and say it's superior is just it's literally a flat out lie. Right. I mean, you're just completely misleading.
I think they said right down to like the erection too. Remember?
Oh yeah, no, that was the burrito experiment. They basically had this. They gave them 3 NFL players like burritos, and they talked about compared their erections and that sort of thing. But if you actually look into the research, it's look at Lane's article. He kind of talks about really what happens, and that's just completely erroneous and ridiculous. Right. But I have nothing against being plant based. There are, and a lot of these athletes, or some of them, are plant based or maybe did compete at the time plant based, and you can excel and you can be a great bodybuilder plant based and this, that, and the other. Yeah, but it's not superior. It's just not. No. Yeah, it's just not. All the data points towards it, and just my personal experiences, and just that's what I mean. Here's the other thing is, so if it is superior, where's all your NFL, MLB, NBA MVPs right now? Where's your Jordan was vegan. Where's your in doing Olympic
it gold medalists,
at the Olympic gold medalists, and so that's just something to think about.
It's like anecdotal evidence.
Correct. So, but anyways, before we ruffle any more feathers, before we get any more hate mail,
I know, right?
We're very supportive of any method that you choose, any method of nutrition you choose to go with, which fits your lifestyle. And if it happens to be plant-based, awesome. That's awesome. And we fully support that. I've coached up a lot of plant-based clients absolutely. So, and it's totally cool, but just guys, just do your research, think, ask questions.
Educate yourself, guys.
Educate yourselves. All right, now one of the best parts of the show. Jim fails the fixes. Coach Garrett, we're going to need a little help here. I found somebody on the gram, as always. Oh, man. So what we do here, Jim fails the fixes, for those of you at home that are listening, and can't see, I'm gonna try to describe it best I can, but we pull up a video clip. I usually see one in my passing of social media and videos at some point. And I send them to Ray and we send back each other back emojis. But we're here to help. That's what we're here to do. But I have Coach Garett, who's an expert professional trainer, and he's going to help us analyze and break down and make sure our subject here doesn't make the same mistake again next time. Ray, why don't you go ahead and roll that beautiful footage?
Let's take a look.
All right, so the setup is we're in some sort of gym.
Oh, wow.
She is standing upside down on a Bosu ball.
Another Bosu ball.
Another Bosu ball video.
Waist trainer in full effect.
Okay.
Waist trainer in a full
She has a waist trainer on. She is a Bosu ball upside down, and she has a wooden box right in front of her.
Man.
Let's go.
Wow. Oh. Safe. It's the Bosu caught her neck.
Okay.
Smacking her head and getting
That's about all it was worth in that exercise.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
That's like the fastest.
I'm maybe an athlete. I don't know, working on plyometrics to the next level. But at the end of the day, first of all, golly, I mean,
Step one.
Yeah.
What Coach Garett, what do we got here? What should we do? Or what should she do?
First, don't do that one, right? But
Ditch the
I mean, I think she actually does an okay job if she would just have landed correctly. At the end of the day, she put too much stress on the end of the box and obviously flipped it over. First of all, you got to get a more stable platform if you're going to do some craziness.
Do you think the Bosu ball is necessary?
I think it's got its benefits for balance and stabilization, but at the end of the day, doing stuff like this, I don't know. She obviously was telling one of her friends to film her, but hey, I'm going to show my coach this new plyometric box jump. I think if you put a lot of athletes on that who are very explosive and stuff with a strong core, and they probably would maybe get that down, to be honest with you. But the box being on the wrong position. Now, if she would have had it flat, I think she would have been okay. But
yeah, she had to kind of stand on its end.
Yeah, she actually did a good job, but the waist trainer threw me for a loop right away. So I knew that was going to
She's got good arm action. She uses her arms. Most people, when I see do a box jump, do nothing with their arms. Yeah. And their hip action is very poor. She's got a little hip action in there, a little hip extension.
Throws the hips, kudos for trying. I'm sure she probably nailed it the next one.
For sure. There's no doubt.
Don't do this if you're a beginner.
Yeah.
And you have zero balance and stabilization. I promise you.
So as a trainer, there's things called progressions.
Yeah.
And that's basically kind of going from step A to step B or like as a baby, you're gonna scoot around on your butt, and then you're gonna crawl, and then you're gonna like walk a little bit, and then you'll be able to walk, and then you can run. Right. So I can't imagine that she went through the proper progressions on this, which I would imagine would be starting off with a low-level box jump with 2 feet, then maybe moving into a low-level single-leg box jump.
Right.
But she went right to the Mecca. Started on the
jumped too much. So
yeah, she got hops.
Yeah, she jumped too far.
So for those of you listening at home, she tried to jump. She landed on the other edge of the box, went out from under her, and she's on her back using the Bosu.
Could have been a lot worse.
Definitely could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, she's lucky.
All right, thank you, Coach Garett, for helping us analyze, break down that gym fails and fixes. As always, one of the best parts of the show.
Oh yeah.
I think that's all we've got for today. Garett, thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm excited.
We're actually gonna have you on here a lot more, or on the as part of the team a lot more. You'll be seeing him on a lot more videos. Obviously, here you can work with him. If you want to work with Coach Garett, reach out to us. Give us a call, 888-655-8576. You can also reach out to his team at SixpackAbs.com. Feel free to ask us questions. Go ahead and comment below as well in the comment sections if you have any questions for Garett or myself or anything involved in the show. Make sure and share this video if you like what you saw. Today's episode, we went over an interview with Garett, talked about the latest in health news, which we talked a little bit about the game changers.
Yeah.
A little plant-based dieting. We went over gym fails to fixes, and we did a nice throwback Thursday. Congratulations to Garrett's couple clients we talked about, man. Congratulations. Awesome job on that. Garett, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be a part of the team, man, and continue to educate and change as many people's lives as we can.
Life has an interesting way of working out. I never thought I'd be sitting here next to my best friend, being able to work together in a scenario like this. So we are really looking forward to helping you guys out.
So,
and Ray, as always, thanks for being on the ones and twos, having my back, man. Appreciate you. All right, guys, make sure and tune in next time. This is Coach Johnny here in the Six Pack Lab. We'll see you soon.